There's no shock when you look at all the sexual harassment investigations going on, that these things have taken place in the era of Donald Trump. You know, the guy who actually was elected largely by white women still vote for him, even though he had said that he grabbed a woman's vagina. Yeah, that thing's been going on. Of course, his election also led to this massive march on Washington, a women's march actually that took place, where millions across the world actually organized on the same day to bring attention to the issues that impacting women. Now, they're coming up in one-year anniversary, so the question for the Women's March, what happens next? Well, one of the co-organizers of that, who put that event together, is Janae Ingram, who joins us right now. Glad to have you back on our final 4 episodes of the show.
I'm happy to be here.
So what is next? We saw, of course, you had the Women's March. Then, of course, you had this 100 days of activity following that, the Women's March National Convention that took place in Detroit. What happens? We're talking about the first anniversary come next month.
Yeah, I think we've always been clear that we did not want this to just be a moment, and everything post the march has been intentional about taking what we saw on January 21st, that momentum that was created, and really turning it into a movement. And so, as you mentioned, we had the 100 days of action. We have people who have made millions of calls on issues from DACA to healthcare reform. All of these things are sort of moving us to the point of the anniversary, which we will be doing voter registration. We will kick off a national tour focused around voter education, voter registration, civic engagement, and all of these things that will help us create policies that really support all of the issues that we're talking about. And so we're really excited. We'll do that kickoff on January 21st in Nevada. Obviously, Nevada is one of those swing states. We've seen, you know, the tide sort of changing there. And then also in Las Vegas, you had the massive shooting that took place. So there's a lot happening in Nevada, and we want to bring people to that state, particularly to Las Vegas, and really focus on that being the point where we say we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to not only rally together, but we are going to use our power to create change, policy change that really impacts our lives.
Let me give a shout out to Aaron Ford, a brother who's actually running for Attorney General in Nevada as well, and so fellow Texas A&M Aggies. So I had to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
When you talk about the organizing piece, we saw massive numbers of women vote in Virginia.
Yes.
I mean, that just flipped that race. We saw the exact same thing happen in Alabama. Do you believe that this march woke white women up? Because black women were already woke.
Yeah, black women were already woke. And I think the thing about Women's March that we have been really strategic and intentional about is centering women of color in the women's movement in general. I think we have done a lot. We've made a lot of inroads with white women and educating them on the inequities that exist even within the women's movement, and how black women and other women of color are continually left behind. And so moving those voices of the marginalized women, trans women and LGBTQ women and other women who maybe have a disability, moving those voices to the center creates actual equity. If you don't have that, you know, basically you have white women who achieve equity and everybody else is still left behind.
Questions?
Well, no, look, I'm extremely proud of what happened with the MORE campaign, because what you saw there was people voting on their morals and their issues, and not voting because I'm a woman, I'm going to vote for a woman, or I'm, you know, voting because of a race. I think that is the correct way to build a movement, to say, you know, come out and speak out for your morals and what you believe in.
But Sue, white conservatives didn't do that. They vote 70%. Of white conservative evangelicals still voted for Roy Moore, an immoral candidate. And so, I mean, and let's just be clear, he still got 650,000 votes.
Right.
He almost won.
Because there's many other issues, such as taxes, such as all those other things that people vote on, and not just against one thing.
But
there's.
hold on. But here's my question, Sue.
Draw a line like that.
But why do you make the assumption, though, that women are only voting for because they're women? No, women are also voting for issues. Black women are voting on issues.
I agree with that. What I'm saying is, before you had people like Gloria Steinem and things like that implying that if you're a woman and you don't vote for a woman, you're a bad woman. And we need to stop saying things like that, because it's not about the issues.
Well, I mean, you know, what's going on is crazy. You know, going along that line of thinking, if you're a Christian conservative and you vote for somebody that's been accused of child molestation, you're a bad Christian conservative. If you're a value voter, if you're a values voter, which most black women are, and you decide to vote for someone like Roy Moore, you are a bad voter. You know, my question actually to you were going to be, you know, are you guys, you know, looking a year plus out, you know, will you guys be traditioning something like Emily's List and supporting candidates and, you know, helping diversify our political landscape? But I had to address that before you.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we have supported candidates, specific candidates, in terms of using our social to amplify the voices of candidates that are non-traditional candidates. So there was a trans woman who won in Virginia. We, you know, sort of put some information out about her. We will continue to do that because we do think by diversifying who's in the legislature, who's on the city council, creating an opportunity for those diverse voices to come together creates better policy.
But will that be only Democratic women? Because one of the criticisms from conservative women is that they have no place in the Women's March movement.
I think we welcome all women. We're not saying if you're a Democrat, come be with us, but we do. You know, going back to the point that Sue made, our values may not align with a Republican woman. And I think that that's a question for that woman to figure out whether or not she feels comfortable. We are promoting progressive policies. And if that leaves out women or makes women feel like, you know, I don't have progressive ideology, so I can't be a part of that, that's their decision. But we're not excluding anyone. We want to see progress made, and I think that we stand on that.
All right. Cool. Always good seeing you.
Always great being here.
Last time on the show, we appreciate it.
Yes, no, I'm so humbled. You gave me a huge opportunity, and it has meant a lot. Your friendship has meant a lot. Your leadership, your voice means a lot.
Appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.